we are here with Josh Mueller. Josh Mueller is the all-time career personal sales rep in the Southwest region, just surpassed 2 million recently, right? I think that puts you in the top 5 overall for Cutco, which is exciting. Tell us this, all those years ago, do you remember why you started working with Cutco?
Yeah, actually I'm a PR, so I had a friend who did it for a summer, and I was like, I don't want to sell knives, and he's like, just come check it out, and I was like, no, I don't want to sell knives, and then he knew I was looking for a job, and I'd been interviewing all these places, I was not getting a job, and he was like, dude, you can come check out the knife thing, and I was like, can you really make money selling knives? And he said, actually you can, and he pulled out like his paycheck that he had in his back pocket, which was for $1,200, and I was like, so do you make that in like a month? And he's like, no. And I said, so they pay you every 2 weeks? He's like, no, I made that in 1 week. I was like, you made $1,200 in 1 week selling knives? He's like, yeah. I was like, all right, I'll check it out, okay, but I'm not going to make any guarantees.
You took the position. I guess either what were you excited about after seeing the interview, or why did you take it even if maybe you were sort of hesitant, but you still needed a position?
Well, I mean, my manager did a really good job painting the vision of the company, and so I remember leaving the interview, I was given the job, and I remember leaving the interview feeling like, okay, if I really apply myself to this and I really work hard, this company seems like it's going places, so if that's true, it's a great product. I've never sold anything before, but if they really do have all the training they say they have, and if they really do stand behind the product with the guarantee they say they have, then maybe I can give it a shot and maybe I can do pretty well at it. But I'd never sold anything before, so I didn't really know. Like I knew it was.
As a new rep, what did you find? Like, what made you stick around? What did you find you liked about the position, or?
I really loved that everybody was fun and the product was great. I mean, what sold me on Cutco was my grandma had a set from like the 50s. I never even knew this, but we sent it all back to the factory, and they couldn't fix it because it was like falling apart and never been sharpened. All this stuff. It was 50 years old, and they since they couldn't fix it, they just sent her a whole new set free of charge. And so I thought that was really cool. I was like, wow, this stuff's really good. I can stand behind it. And the biggest thing that kept me sticking around, like what I was excited about was that it was a quality product and a really great guarantee, but what kept me sticking around, I didn't do very good at the beginning. I actually wasn't the best rep. I was below average or average at best. And I was really, I was thankful for the fact that there were people around who were at higher levels than me, and everybody was always willing to help. Like, everybody was always willing to answer questions for me and stuff like that. I remember one of my first field training, and the person who took me field training, like when we got back to the office, I said, hey, can I ask you some more questions? He said, come on into the office. We went in the office, and he sat there and like just listened to me ask him questions for like 2 hours, and never said anything about it, never complained about it. We just sat and he answered all my questions, and it was awesome. So,
what helped you develop in your skills in this position?
when I was new, I made sure that I called my manager before and after every single appointment, and I told them every single detail about every single appointment, and I asked questions about that. She's smiling because she was my manager, so she remembers all those calls. But every single detail, every single appointment, I was always asking, like, what can I do better? What can I do better? What can I do better? Because I wanted to get better at it. And so I think it was that, like, just that willingness to, like, learn and grow and, like, get better, and just really made a huge difference. Because I was always focused on the next level. So, like, I wanted to get my first promotion as fast as possible, and I wanted my next promotion, and then, you know, I wanted to get so on and so on and so on. And I remember when I got to FSM, like, I went to a division meeting, and I said to, like, the top FSM in our division, I was like, hey, I hit FSM, and he was like, great, when are you going to get to SFSM? And I was like, oh, seriously? Like, come on. But it really, it was probably the best question anybody asked me in my career, because it was, like, made me think, like, okay, I got to go to the next level now. So having that next level focus helped a lot.
So once you got to this stage where you went from being a new rep to at least being pretty good at the position, developing a lot of the skills it takes to be successful, what took you to the next level of being one of the top reps, consistently doing bigger numbers?
You know, I get asked this a lot. I'd say that the biggest thing is just really making the decision to get serious about building a business. Like, I remember I listened to John Ruhlin give a talk about running your business like a business, and it made me realize that while this is fun and the culture's really cool and the people are great and the product's awesome, and we work mostly with college kids, so it's very like, I don't know, sometimes there's not a lot of structure. You're kind of allowed to do whatever you want and, you know, kind of go with the flow or whatever. Like, I realized after listening to that message that this could be a true business opportunity for me. And then if I really just got serious about it and I worked consistently week after week, month after month, and I just continue to learn and grow, that something great could happen. And I've just always looked to grow sales every year. You know, I mean, I sold 20 grand my first year and 70 grand my next year, and then I remember my first 100K year, and then I wanted to sell more. And my goal's always been to figure out how can I sell more with the same amount of time. And you know,
and this last year, what was your sales total? 2011.
In 2011, I sold $350,000.
That's your best year so far, right?
Best year ever, yeah.
Very nice.
So.
Congratulations. What keeps you here? Like, what is your favorite thing about working as an FSM CSP?
My favorite thing about being a CSP is definitely all of my friends that I have here in the business. This is really like my family, and it's a lot of fun, and the income opportunity is just amazing. You know, I mean, you can't, when you're making 150 to 200 grand a year selling knives, I mean, you can't, it's kind of hard to turn away from that. So, but, and just the fact that there's always room to grow. So like, I don't feel like I've learned everything yet, and I won't leave this company until I feel like I've learned everything there is to learn. And so every year it seems like, you know, I may think I know everything, and then I get challenged, and I realize there's so much more to learn. So, you know, until I feel like I'm not growing anymore, I'll probably always be here. So.
What do you think are the things that you've learned the most by selling Cutco that you've also translated into other things in your life? Like the life skills. What are the things you've developed, you think, as a person the most working here?
Definitely speaking skills and communication skills. I feel like I'm really good with people now, and when I first started, I wasn't. I was pretty shy. I was, you know, kind of the college kid that like never talked to anybody in class. I'd go to class and be like, first day of class, I'd be like, oh, look at all these new people. I'll have so many friends after this semester's over, and then I'd leave that semester and I hadn't talked to a single person in my class. I had no new friends. So I feel like I've really developed those people skills here. Now I'm comfortable talking to anybody I don't know. And that helps me out. I mean, I travel all around the world now, and I feel like I can, like I just got back from a 2-week trip by myself internationally to a place I'd never been, where it's a foreign language that I don't speak, and I wasn't uncomfortable in any way at all, you know, and so I think that's because of the people skills I've learned here at Vector. And then just the love for the product. I feel like I know how to cook better now because I've really embraced the product and, you know, learned how to cook, and the product's helped with that. And time management skills. I mean, finances, really good with my money now because of, you know, the fact that I've made a great income with Cutco, but also had to learn how to manage that properly so that I wasn't just blowing all my money everywhere, you know, on stupid stuff. And being responsible with taxes and deductions and just, you know, the finances of running a business, learning how to put together budgets and marketing plans and just all that sort of stuff has really been helpful. And that's all just come with years of experience. And then just marketing and past customer communication and just learning how to really service people so that they feel like you're taking good care of them and they're thankful for that. But, you know, also making sure they know that, like, I'm not just here just to sell you stuff. Like, I'm here to service you and take care of you and add value. And I've learned that through working with customers for the past, you know, 10 plus years.
But if somebody's considering going to any conference, there's always a cost involved, or at least as far as I know, there's always a cost involved. But what would be your opinion of conferences in general, the value of conferences versus the cost to go and that sort of thing?
Well, I definitely believe that it's always worth the money. Hands down, no questions asked. In fact, I was dragged to my first conference kicking and screaming because I didn't want to spend the money. I was like, I'd rather go to school than go to a conference. Like, come on, seriously, a conference for knives? And then I went, like, it was funny because somebody gave me a money-back guarantee. They were like, if you go to this conference and you don't learn anything, you know, I'll give you the money to go to this conference. If you go and you don't learn anything, you don't have to pay me back, okay? But if you learn something, then you just have to pay me back afterwards. And I was like, okay, cool. So I actually went to try to not learn something, and I learned a whole crap load of stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to miss a conference again. And I haven't. I haven't missed a conference since. I go to every conference. In fact, I probably go to more conferences than the average rep because I travel around the country and go to other people's conferences to like speak and stuff like that. So, and I love conferences. I think they're always worth the money. Just the relationships that you build at the conferences are worth more than the money it costs to go. And you know, like, you can work and work and work and never like go learn, But the best times to learn are when you're willing to unplug yourself and just go immerse yourself in a learning experience for a couple of days. It's like the easiest way to refresh yourself and get re-energized and re-motivated. And that's what I love about conferences. I go to probably 15 conferences a year just because I love to unplug, go hang out with friends, build some more relationships, learn a couple new skills. I mean, I don't get the most skills from conferences anymore, but I always walk away from every event with 1 or 2 golden nuggets. And some of those golden nuggets have yielded thousands and thousands of dollars in income. So I'm thankful for conferences, and it's rare that you find a company that offers conferences. I don't think there's any company that offers as many conferences as Vector does. So always worth the money, always worth the time, and you'll always learn something new, and always walk away from it feeling like, as long as you engage yourself and you learn and you actually implement the things you learn, you'll always walk away feeling like it was totally worth it.
So I think one of the biggest things about conferences too is even when you get to a level like yourself where maybe some of the workshops don't have that much new information. For newer reps, everything is new information that you're learning just about. You get to certain levels of our business as an FSM, and maybe all the workshops don't have new stuff, but I think the key I hear from people is you just go and find that other person at the conference. Even if it's not a workshop, it's just talking to someone else that's there, and just that one-on-one talking, usually you learn stuff.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Even when you're at the highest levels, a lot of times the best part of the conference is the one-on-one time you give somebody outside of, just really having fun is really important.
I agree.
So my secret on my demos is I try to make customers laugh as much as possible, and I really believe in the high five. So if you want the Josh Mueller tip, high five your customers as much as you possibly can. And when I take people field training, they count the number of high fives I give because I give so many. I think the record I gave to one customer was 38 high fives on one appointment. So high five your customers. As long as they're smiling and they're laughing and they're having fun, they're going to want to buy from you. That's the name of the game. So
awesome.
You rock.
Thanks.
Keep rocking.
You rock. So that's Josh Mueller, and we'll be back with another QRT soon enough.